Hello, I am Shoko, and today we're watching The War on Normal Guys by Shoe0nHead. Let's get into the video. Hello, YouTube.
Wendigoon is a horror conspiracy theorist YouTuber with several million subscribers, has a dark past with deep ties to far-right extremism. Wendigoon is very publicly friends with Turkey Tom. He is friends with Mutahar. He is publicly friends with Shoe0nHead, who is a conservative masquerading as a leftist.
A few days ago, I saw this video pop up in my YouTube feed. Bad conservative horror movies. And I was immediately intrigued. I love long video essays about stupid shit like this. But what I got instead was the worst attempt at a hit piece I have ever seen on YouTube ever. So sit down and get comfy, because it's time for an old-fashioned video response.
Oh, I like her Hawaiian shirt. It's so cute.
Now before we get into this video, I just want to thank today's sponsor, you. This video is sponsored by all of you who donate to me on patreon.com. Thank you all very much. I made you some cookies.
Ooh.
These are just for the people who support me on Patreon.
Are those M&Ms?
Not you. I see you, freeloader.
No.
Anyway, I've been pretty busy lately doing personal life things, but when this went down, I was like, I can't not respond to this. But by the time I was done with the script, the man had already deleted the video after it was downvoted to hell. But even though the video is gone, I still want to respond to it for 3 reasons. 1, I am directly involved in this. 2, I'm tired of these type of people running their mouths. And 3, this topic is pretty timeless. And that topic is what I like to call the War on Normal Guys. Last year I wrote a script for a video with this title, and it was about the YouTuber Wendigoon being cancelled on Twitter. For those of you who don't know, Wendigoon is a popular YouTuber who makes video about true crime, horror, and cryptids. And no, despite popular belief, Wendigoon has nothing to do with gooning. Wendigoon is what most YouTubers who don't make political videos should be. His channel is completely apolitical. I don't like clicking a video about iCarly and then having to listen to you about how much you hate Trump, or clicking a video about Fallout and hearing you go off about how Joe Biden sucks. I don't care. If I wanted to hear milquetoast political opinions, I would watch my own videos. But no, despite being non-political, Wendigoon is a great channel. He has a good community, he's very positive, he's a Sunday school teacher, he has a beautiful wife, he's friendly, funny, and kind, which of course makes him an enemy to the most annoying people on earth. Month after month after month, I would see threads on Twitter and on Reddit about how what a terrible person Wendigoon was. But when I would go searching for reasons why, there was really nothing besides vibes. I simply do not like Wendigoon. He has bad vibes coming off him like stinky lines. The vibes on this guy have never been right. I live in the Bible Belt. He has the vibes of the kids who would have been comfortable saying racist and homophobic slurs and bullied me in grade school. He always gave me weird vibes.
How? What? Just based off of vibes? Off of videos? You don't know a person based off of a video? How does that even make any sense?
You looked at me funny. You're getting canceled.
You got that strange look to you. The vibes are off.
Deeply uncomfortable vibes from this guy. I initially unfollowed him because I started getting weird vibes from him. There are evil energies surrounding this man. Wait, what'd he do? He used to be a youth pastor. Some people got weird vibes, and that's fair. It's rare to see a youth pastor with good vibes. What did Wendigoon do? Honestly, a lot of it is just the vibes. I needed more. I needed to hear some real reasons why people disliked this guy. I needed real arguments. I needed a living soy jack meme with a pedo mustache and bisexual lighting to string up and beat like a piñata. Enter In Praise of Shadows, aka Zane, a leftist video essayist straight out of the aging millennial hipster factory. Seriously, why do they all look like this? What genre of man is this? The mustache, the hair, the clothing, post-ironic neo-redneck? You know how some people talk about how women's taste in men gets all weird and f***ed up when they're on birth control? These are the men. I'm gonna call them birth control hot. I'm in no position to talk about style.
Welcome
I still
back.
do my makeup like it's 2009. Zane is a horror movie video essayist who, for some reason, decided to randomly go after Wendigoon and several other
what did he eat?
YouTubers and myself. His video starts off with him complaining that he got a lot of hate for his take about the movie Hills Have Eyes.
The hill people can be representative of anything that you want them to be, really. They can be Native Americans, and the hills themselves can be allegorical of them being forced back onto reservations.
Huh?
You saw a bunch of
No. The hills have eyes is very straightforward.
That's crazy, Ariel.
It's
That's
crazy.
crazy.
Yeah, how do you interpret a whole new meaning in a movie that already tells you what the interpretation and what they mean by everything? Huh? I
Not
love
gonna lie,
horror too. Yeah?
I 100% agree. That's crazy. I was laughing at the Ariel's comment on the banana ramen.
Banana ramen. Breakfast patty melt with from Waffle House. I love Waffle House. Went out
Sounds
with
hella
my
fire.
shift's crew. I hope it was a good meal. I hope your stomach is full.
cannibal mutants and thought of Native Americans. Anyway, he goes on to talk about how people were misrepresenting him and leaving rude comments.
The cruel and untrue things that you say about another person do in fact have direct impacts on them and the way that people culturally see them. Are these your own genuine original thoughts and criticisms that you have based on my actual words and things that I have done, or that maybe you haven't thought critically about what you were reading online, about other people?
And about how after this video, apparently a lot of his subscribers stopped watching him, and now he's poor and can't afford rent.
There was a month last year where I only made $500 in ad revenue.
Oh,
I can't live off that.
the attitude too. I can't live off of $500. Get a job.
That was great. Guys, I'm recording a video of me talking into a screen. I can't live off it. You need to pay me to live off it.
With the whole galaxy screen in the background. Oh, ugh, yuck. It's giving, what is it? What year would this be if it was with the galaxy? Because I know galaxy was a big thing with clothes and pants. It's so
I
old.
don't know.
It's just so old. Why?
Indeed.
Which, if you're ever at this point, you need to get a job, or at least a side
Yes!
job. That's capitalism meritocracy. Either
Mhm.
make better content or get a job.
Yep.
Hey, maybe if we get communism, you can be the community YouTuber. No, just kidding. Your ass is going to the mines! Then finally, an hour into the video, he gets to the topic, conservative horror movies. But then suddenly, seemingly out of nowhere, it was like he accidentally uploaded a schizophrenic meltdown.
If you're not aware, Wendigoon is a horror conspiracy theorist YouTuber with several million subscribers, that, as you will hopefully come to see, should not be seen as the wholesome, southern-friendly dad persona that he has publicly constructed around himself in the past several years. And that, like many people who talk about being Christians as much as he does, has a dark past with deep ties to far-right extremism.
Ooh, this sounds pretty bad. He's not the heckum wholesome YouTube dad we all thought. What could he have possibly done?
There are many things that are red flags that we could talk about, from the bizarre gun
Red
ownership.
flags.
Yikes! An American man owns guns? Not very heckin' wholesome, Wendigoon. He goes on to talk about how Wendigoon is rich, and therefore he doesn't respect Wendigoon's opinion on media.
I want
He
a
became
gun.
exceptionally wealthy by the time that he was 19 or 20. I have no need or desire to hear 5 hours of opinions on Blood Meridian from a 21-year-old millionaire.
Like, what exactly is the correct
He just
amount
sounds
of money
jealous.
to have where your
gonna say, his
opinions
voice
still
irks
matter?
me.
Like, if you suddenly got a bunch of video
Yeah.
views and a bunch of patrons like you want, would we be justified in dismissing your opinions on movies? This honestly just feels like a conservative's idea of what a leftist is. Like, it's not just about hating people for having money. Like, what is Wendigoon's position of power in relation to the means of production? Does he own a business? Does he have employees he's mistreating? Not that I know of. He's just a guy who makes YouTube videos, like you. Only difference is he's good at it and makes money, and you're not, and you don't. Okay, for real though, there's gotta be more, right? What crimes has Wendigoon committed? Well, to start, he committed the crime of having friends.
Wendigoon is very publicly friends with Turkey Tom. They have been seen together on multiple occasions, and I've seen online mentions that Tom was either at his wedding or at the very least was invited.
They have been seen together. I have seen online mentions that he was at his wedding. He's saying this shit like Turkey Tom is wanted for murder, and not like he just said some slurs on Discord when he was a teenager. Does this guy vet like every single person he's ever been friends with or spoken to? Hey, before you enter my house, I'm gonna have to go through your Discord history from 7 years ago.
Any specific gun I want? So I would say I definitely want two types of guns. More like in the I like it based off of the look. I don't know. I like the classic AK. It really is my favorite looking gun. My honestly my favorite gun in general. But I would definitely want a Glock just cuz why not? I want it in blue too. I feel like it would just be such a flex just to have a cute gun that's in blue. Maybe a dragon design on it too. For the AK, that would look so cool. I do like Winchesters. They look great. I like the classic, you know, um, mechanic of it. But the thing is, this guy is just hating the fact that he has friends like with other people, like he's friends with them and they have their own like inner circle, which is normal in any type of group of people. He's a hater. He's a straight up hater. I really, really want a Nerf. I never had a Nerf gun. I actually have a few Nerf guns. I love them. They're so fun to use. My first Nerf gun was a birthday present from a friend of mine. It was like a crossbow one. Yo, I also want a crossbow. I really want a crossbow.
You
And
know,
a bow.
fire looking gun. I'm just saying.
Yeah?
A .300
Ooh.
AAC Honey Badger is so clean of a look, and it is such a nice gun.
Wow.
The .300 caliber is my favorite, I think. I'm a gun nerd at heart.
No, I appreciate you being a gun nerd. You gotta show me that gun because I will definitely be interested. Both good and reliable. I got a Polish milled AK-47 and it's nice and smooth. I'm jealous. What the heck? You just bragging now, Smackers?
Hey, represent the Polish. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
We gotta love that Polish. Yeah. .300 is so clean. All of them just look so nice. And they shoot so nice.
I love going to the range. It's so fun. The only guns I don't really care to shoot are shotguns just because some of them have grips where it's really rough on the hands. And when going, I went with my mom and she accidentally, when you shoot a shotgun and then because of the pressure of the shot being shot out, the trigger gets hit again because, some people leave their finger on there. So she did that by accident as she was shooting. So she didn't let go of the trigger after the first shot. She kept her finger there and it shot twice. And the guy was like, yo, at the shooting range. I was so surprised that someone could actually do that.
My bad, I'm a Canadian. I've never been to a shooting range.
Oh, no. You
No, I
definitely
don't.
need to. If you ever come by to US, I will show you my favorite shooting range.
Yeah, .300 Blackout is the name of the caliber.
That guy is a how do you say that? Soyak? The most basic of man. I can work on a 300 black AR and it get close to a honey badger. Ooh, 300 blackout gun range day. Yo, I might do a live stream where you guys can just watch me shoot guns. If that's what you guys want. Honestly, my brain goes burr when the guns go off.
I mean, I don't know if you've ever heard of the game Escape from Tarkov. W game. It's fully releasing technically November 15th. I'm just saying. You guys should get
Ooh.
it. W game. It is like
Not
the
sponsored.
most realistic gun customization game you'll ever get.
No way. Oh, I love games that let me customize my gun to the max. Let's go.
Oh, it is insane what you can do in that game. Okay, yeah.
I was gonna
Side
say
rant
no,
over.
but I can see this guy doing that.
Wendigoon is publicly friends with Donut Operator, and
He'll
even
play it,
retweeted
yeah,
a photograph
yeah.
of the two of them hugging. Donut Operator is a gun-crazed, very far-right YouTuber with 4 million subscribers. His content is very pro-state, pro-cop, pro-gun, and pro-death to people who don't share his beliefs propaganda. For example, one of his videos is titled, "Predator Takes Shotgun to the Face."
I love the example he used is a literal pedophile being killed. He's very pro-death for people who don't share his beliefs. Take, for example, this pedophile. Is that what you mean by people who don't share his beliefs? Out of all the videos, why that one? You're not gonna find many people who are gonna be like, oh no, the poor
Ooh.
child molester.
Head eyes.
Well, maybe you will, but most people won't. Also, he's trying to act like Donut Operator is just a complete simp for the police, and he's really not. Even in the screenshot you show in the background, there's like 3 whole videos in frame where he's clearly being critical of the police.
For someone who supposedly is so very anti-government, Wendigoon seems very comfortable with a man who makes his living worshipping violence committed by the state. And the only thing that one could reasonably gather from this picture of them hugging is that he too is a fascist bootlicker himself.
Actually, we can't reasonably gather anything because you haven't given us anything to gather. You label this guy very far right, and he might be very far right, but you haven't shown anything very far right. Like, take a step back and evaluate the bare basics of what you just showed us. Wendigoon hugging someone who thinks it's okay when a pedophile dies. Okay, but let's be fair. Maybe there's more. Maybe there's something worse. Let's see.
He is friends with Brandon Buckingham, a gun YouTuber who has been accused of threatening rape.
Okay, so first of all, let's rewind. This guy is not a gun tuber. This just proved this man did absolutely no research. I'm talking like 2 seconds going to this guy's channel amount of research. And for those who are unaware, that rape thing is a complete lie. It is a complete lie made up by, sit down, Sneeko. Sneeko made that up, and Sneeko had to apologize and admit it was a lie because it was literal slander. I just love how in his little breadtube tryout video, he uses Sneeko as a fucking source. I mean, it's not like his other sources are any better. His other sources being Reddit. He got like 90% of this information from a thread about Wendigoon in a drama subreddit called R YouTube Drama. This man like borderline plagiarized Reddit comments. Source, pee-pee-poo-poo-123 and Sneeko. Nice job on the research, you fucking hack. Also, I love the screenshot he's using. This you, bro. This you showing sympathy to someone whose grandfather is dying.
He has collaborated with Nick Crowley, who constantly makes money through the most morbid and shameful true crime content, of showcasing the last minutes of people before they are suddenly and unexpectedly killed.
So I don't know much about this guy, but it seems like your issue with him is that he makes true crime content. I mean, personally, I'm not a huge fan of true crime content, but it's extremely popular on YouTube.
Crowley is similar to Wendigoon, in that on the surface they seem fairly edgy, but
True crime is so good, though.
But then you notice that he follows less than 200 people on Twitter, and among them are the same circle with names like Wendigoon, Plagued Moth, Turkey Tom, Mr. Ballin, and Donut Operator.
On the surface, they look clean enough to pass the vibe check, but then you look closer and notice he follows people who don't pass the vibe check.
People hate the police, and yet they're always like, sir, I'm gonna have to take a look at that Twitter follow list. Just absolute cop behavior. ACAB includes the follow police.
Wendigoon is publicly friends with Brandon Herrera, who has made jokes that implied that he was sympathetic with public shooters who killed leftists. I've also seen people insinuate that Herrera was with Wendigoon in the days of being part of the Boogaloo movement, but I cannot find substantial proof on if this is true or not. But I've seen several comments saying this, so online it is at least culturally believed to be true.
Hey guys, I heard Praise of Shadows a dog. No, I don't have any proof, but it's culturally believed to be true.
He is friends with Oompaville, a gun-obsessed content creator.
Oompaville! What the hell did Oompaville do? He's not even political whatsoever. I guess that's the problem, isn't it? But no, you're a bad person if you shot a gun even once. This is America. That's like saying you're a bad person if you ate a cheeseburger. His other example of Oompaville being bad is making videos about Nikocado avocado, as if anyone and their mother has not made a Nikocado avocado video. This is ridiculous. There has to be more.
He is friends with Mutahar.
Mutahar? Mutahar! Really?
hell did
If
Mudahar
someone
do?
can't be friends with Mudahar, they
Yeah!
can't be friends with anyone. That dude.
Literally, what? Little heart. What? How? What? How? What has he done wrong? Explain. And what does it have to correlate with you being friends with someone to cause that? It's like, not everybody believes in the same things, but you can still be friends. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Dude is like so not problematic.
And has recently showcased a great deal of transphobia in his most recent video.
Okay, nothing in Mudahar's video was transphobic at all. I don't even know why I have to entertain this. Simply talking about a trans person isn't transphobia, and I wish that we could like move past this and just treat trans people like human beings and not like these like delicate little angels that we need to like step on eggshells around. It's really weird.
Who argued against Andrew Tate being deplatformed from social media websites.
He believes in the concept of free speech for everyone. Wow. Just like the Nazis. This is what you're using to paint Mudahar as a bad person in order to paint Wendigoon as a bad person. You're running out of paint, bro.
Wendigoon is publicly connected to the Internet Historian, and has even appeared in his videos. The Internet Historian publicly said that his birthday was April 20th. It is not, and has only said that as a joke because that is Hitler's birthday.
Ah yes, April 20th, Hitler's birthday. There are no other jokes surrounding the number 4.
What's wild is the fact that my birthday is on April 19th. And I remember my mom even saying, oh yeah, I had to make sure that you were born on the 19th. This was like when I was born in Germany too, by the way. But she was just like, oh, we gotta make sure you're born on the 19th. You know, because I don't want your birthday to be the same.
Yeah. One of my closest friends is born on 420. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, it's such a flex. I want to be like, hey, 420.
420? It's a weed joke. It's like making a joke about the number 69.
Yeah.
This is either extremely dishonest manipulation, saying April 20th instead of the number 420 so people wouldn't notice, or you are profoundly mentally retarded, sir. Who the sees a joke about 420 and automatically thinks Hitler? I'll tell you who. Somebody with preconceived notions about others. Everyone is already a bigot, so everything they say is bigoted, instead of the other way around. Looking at bigotry and coming to the conclusion that that person's a bigot. No, you have this insane hater tunnel vision, which is why you're coming to insane conclusions like this.
We could talk about the time that Nick Spheres did a video about the disturbing movie Iceberg, who is a great horror trans creator, and in the comments of her video, he said, "We will be watching your career with great interest," which is just kinda gross.
That is a line from Star Wars. You really saw him being friendly with a trans person, the trans person being friendly back, and came to the conclusion that this was transphobia? For f***'s sake, man, she
Literally, ooh. And like the post earlier. Like the post. There was a heart on the post. Make it make sense. There is no... You know, when you have receipts for things, like proof that someone is a certain way, these aren't receipts. These are just slander, defamation. Man, he's lucky he wouldn't be sued because he'd be too broke to even pay for it.
That's crazy.
wooed at him. Have you ever sat back and thought, hey, maybe if I have to squint my eyes and tilt my head and glue my balls to my butthole in order to paint these people as Nazis, maybe they're not Nazis?
He has interacted positively with Garant Thumb, who has said, "The traditional family should be encouraged and strengthened. I see little to no support from the government or big media."
Traditional families? Not traditional families! This is how you know this video was made for one type of person and that type of person only. Because what the are we supposed to be mad at that?
For someone who is supposedly anti-government, he sure does seem to have a lot of wealthy white friends who actively work to uphold the values of the American empire.
For someone who hates the government so much, they sure have a lot of wealthy white friends who hold up the American empire. What the are you saying? It's like lefty Mad Libs. He's just chucking a bunch of buzzwords at the wall and seeing what sticks. Capitalism, cops, white, American empire. Again, he sounds like a conservative's idea of what a lefty would sound like. He sounds like a Daily Wire sketch character. He goes on to talk about more Twitter accounts Wendigoon follows and how some of those accounts have liked problematic tweets. Now, see, I always thought fascism was hyper-nationalistic authoritarianism, but apparently it's actually when you follow people on Twitter that Walmart Noah Samson doesn't like.
He has publicly interacted in a friendly way with the account Rock Solid on multiple occasions.
Responding to someone on Twitter makes you best friends with that person. Hey, by the way, this you being friendly with YouTuber Sophie from Mars, who is allegedly an abuser, is that you, bro? Because according to your own logic, not mine, that makes you and her friends, which makes you a bad person. And personally, I'd rather be friends with people who make jokes on the internet than someone who allegedly puts cigarettes out on their girlfriend's skin. But honestly, I wouldn't hold this against him. How was he supposed to know? You throw a dart into a crowd of these people and you're bound to hit a sex pest.
He is publicly friends with Shoe0nHead, who is a conservative masquerading as a leftist, who has built a career off of lazy anti-woke content complaining about SJWs, who says stuff like, Karl Marx rising from the grave finding out his movement has been taken over by fat, ugly, mentally ill losers.
What's crazy is I could have given you like 20 examples of way worse shit I've said over the years, but instead you choose a random joke I made on Twitter. You just went to my Twitter and found like one of the last tweets I made.
That's
This
crazy.
you, bro? Congratulating someone on their wedding day?
Ooh, such cute wedding pictures too. See?
Deal.
Happy. That's how you know someone's happy. Unlike the guy that's probably filming these videos in some basement unhappy, which is the hater.
A conservative
he's-
masquerading as a leftist is so funny too, because like, what would be the point of that? Am I waiting for like a Soros check? It would be way more lucrative as a woman on the internet to just be a conservative commentator instead of pissing off all sides like I do. Also, the term publicly friends with is so funny. He keeps saying it, and like personally, it's hilarious to me because I have to be privately friends with several public figures because they are prisoners to their own audience, because their own audiences are full of people like this guy. So I have a lot of respect for people like Wendigoon who will just talk to anyone they want to and aren't scared of these cry bullies. Also, I think it's important to say Wendigoon and I talk on Twitter sometimes, but we're not like best friends. I've never even met him in real life. But because he has the audacity to tweet at me, now all my opinions are his. And as for the lazy accusation,
Yikes.
you got me. Honestly, this all would have bothered me way more like a few years ago, but I'm so over it now. Go ahead and call me what you like. I take solace in the fact that every woke idiot that comes at me eventually gets their own ass cancelled into the shadow realm, and yet I remain problematic and a moron forever. And I personally can't wait until the inevitable day an army of skeletons comes marching out of your closet. What does bother me, however, is linking Wendigoon to me in order to smear him. My friends and I aren't a hive mind. And that might be easy for most people to understand, but not for these people. People like this guy, they don't have friends. They have enemies and they have temporary allies. They have people they hate and people they will eventually throw under the bus the second that person has a problematic tweet one day.
He has
Yeah,
said many
and they
times
think they're
publicly that he
sheeps.
lives in East Tennessee. It is about as white as you could possibly get. Deep Appalachia is very white country, and for the most part, is exceptionally racist. Genuinely in this part of the country, you have to assume that any white person you meet is racist unless they show you otherwise.
Holy
What
shit.
the hell?
He's
All
never
white
been
people
outside.
from Appalachia are racist until proven
What did I
otherwise.
just read-
He's
what did I
implying
just
Wendigoon
listen
is
to?
low-key racist because of where he's from. He literally has no proof otherwise. No videos, no screen caps, nothing that shows Wendigoon being racist. But you see, he has to be. So because he's from Tennessee,
Assumptions.
he secretly must be. Making a broad negative generalization about somebody based on their race, but wokely, so it's okay. Appalachia is one of the poorest areas in the country. And aren't you a poor motherfucker too? I know you don't want to hear it, but the working class revolution is not just going to be full of the purple-haired Starbucks baristas. It's also going to be Billy Bob the truck driver from Tennessee. And you have more in common with those guys than you do the rich bread tubers that you're trying to suck the farts out of currently. So why don't you drop the smug liberal attitude and show some class solidarity, comrade?
Then, of course, there is his username. To the Algonquin people, the Wendigo is a negative spiritual symbol. He has attempted to deflect from criticism over the use of the name by saying that his grandfather was Native American. But I personally have to look at it from the hypothetical perspective, where, say I had a black or mixed grandfather in this situation, and black people were telling me that I was doing something that was racist or offensive to them. I would then listen to what they were saying instead of claiming that I had the right to do it, because I had some melanin in me, especially if I were more or less raised within a primarily white cultural area like the Appalachian Mountains are. And also on top of that, just, frequently associated myself with white supremacists.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Where was the white supremacy? You spent like 10 minutes smearing a bunch of people Wendigoon talks to, but not once did you show any white supremacy. Again, just...
I think it's crazy that he thinks that if you're raised in something that is not your culture, that you're not part of that culture, when literally I was raised by my Afghan German mom. And I'm still considered a black person. Like, I still, in society, would be black because of
Smackers_games just
how I am.
subscribed.
Oh, thank you so much for the sub. Yeah, it's so stupid. You can't just tell people what they're not. And nobody would take offense. I've met plenty of people who have their grandparents that are like, one of their grandparents are black. And I acknowledge that. I'm like, heck yeah, you are black. You have that. It's in your genetics. And to me, actually, it's pretty obvious. I'll meet people and then they'll tell me, I'm like, yeah, I could tell. Just based off of the facial features. I don't know. It's just, it always has that. You can tell in a way, especially because they'll always talk about how they grew up with them or how they were around them or even other members in their families. I mean, it's very obvious, but it has nothing to do with where you grow up. I mean, heck, my brothers are in Germany. That's primarily white people, and they're still considered black. Doesn't make any sense. We're just mixed.
I will never understand the simplest way I always like talk to people and like genuinely try to have a mature conversation is just take what they're saying
Mm-hmm.
and almost flip it on themselves. So this guy's saying, "Oh, he's born in the Appalachian Mountains or whatever.
Yeah, the
He's white.
Appalachian.
He can't do anything but be white." That is like and he's saying that people are, since he's from there, people are all the white people there are racist, therefore he's racist. That's like, it's like if I was up to go to somebody and be like, well, you're from okay, this is gonna sound very racist if it's taken out of context. Okay, and you know what, I'll use an easier example. Well, you're from Canada. You can only say sorry. You only know how to play hockey. You don't know how to do anything but play hockey. Like,
No.
you're from Canada. That's all. That's, come on. Like, what?
Or
I don't know.
it's like how, oh, you're American, you only eat burgers and hot dogs.
Exactly.
And
yeah,
all are rednecks or something.
Ariel, I knew it was gonna be attempted to take it out of context, so I thought it was like good old Canadian life. No, I don't know. It's like things people say. I never understand how they can say them with a straight face without realizing how stupid it is.
Yeah.
What they're saying.
Mm-hmm. It's like their brain didn't process anything and all they were just saying is words. And that's all I'm hearing from this man is blah, 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 blah.
No. It's more blah 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 capitalism, blah 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 white supremacy, blah 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 blah.
Yeah. Blah, 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 blah. They're friends, blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. It's like he's just throwing in buzzwords to throw in buzzwords.
That word is bad as well. What word?
Throwing around lefty buzzwords. White supremacy.
We could talk about
Yeah,
his
right
past
there.
and supposedly being a founding
Literally.
member in an online conspiracy theory group that, according to him, snowballed out of control into being a white supremacist neo-Nazi organization called the Boogaloo Boys.
Hillbilly.
In 2020, they killed several
Right.
police officers in a drive-by shooting in Oakland, hoping that black people would be blamed for the violence, in an attempt to create racial tension.
So basically, Wendigoon was part of a libertarian group that
Oh,
eventually
really?
became more extreme and radical over time, and he no longer agreed with the goals, so he left it and he disavowed it. Okay. Isn't that what you want? For him to own up to his mistakes and take accountability? You'd have a point if he was still involved in this group, or even if he was part of the group while the group was doing all these terrible things, but he wasn't. It's so funny he had to add this completely made-up factoid that the Boogaloos killed cops in order to blame it on black people, but I couldn't find that literally anywhere. In fact, I found the exact opposite. The Boogaloo Boys made sure people knew it was done by them. And it wasn't to spark a race war, it was to spark more anti-government sentiment. The Boogaloo Boys are a radical libertarian group. They hate cops. So I think this guy made up this thing about them wanting to blame black people, so people in his audience wouldn't think the Boogaloo Boys were cool. Yeah, they killed cops, but not in the based cool way we want to kill cops. This is probably the most damning evidence they have against Wendigoon, even though he's not involved in this group anymore, but they still it up. Zayn was liking tweets from people, glazing him, telling him what an amazing job he was doing for finally going after Wendigoon, our glorious Reddit white knight, basking in the attention and glory of finally slaying the bad vibes dragon. All while Wendigoon left a nice comment on the guy's video, telling people not to be mean to this guy. Well, that sign won't stop me because I can't read. One comment I found on this guy's video was like, loving the Wendigoon fanboys trying to deny that he's conservative. He'll get away with it because he's popular though. He'll get away with it. Get away with what? The crime of being popular online while not agreeing with you politically? Is that what this expose is about? Wendigoon exposed, not a communist.
For nothing.
Nobody gives a
So what if he's a conservative? Is that a problem? Which the answer to that is yes. But the reason that I care is because this does not belong in horror, or anywhere. I care deeply about horror, and everything that he does has demonstrated so far in his career that he should not be welcomed in our spaces, or even, just in public in general.
What? Okay. First of all, I assure you nobody wants to be in your
Crazy
space, bro.
statement.
Imagine the smell. But second of all, in public, Wendigoon should not be allowed in public spaces. Wendigoon should not be allowed to exist in society because he is Twitter friends with people this guy disagrees with on Twitter.
Should not be accepted within society at all. They should not be celebrated. They should be treated for what they are. Because remember, kids, when somebody shows you who they are, believe them.
Well, you've told us you're a lying, manipulative hack, and I believe you. But Wendigoon's actions, words, and even comments he left on your video tell us he's a good person. You're so lost in the sauce, you don't even realize all you did to the average viewer was make this guy seem like a kind person who learns and grows from his mistakes. These flimsy accusations and guilt by associations may work for the NPCs in your audience who already hated Wendigoon based on vibes, but you need to bring more to the table than unsourced Reddit comments. If you're trying to convince the average person who isn't terminally online that this guy deserves to be ostracized from society. The fact is, most people have friends they don't politically agree with. Most people make edgy jokes. Many people are into guns. Many support the police. And most enjoy when pedophiles die. These things you listed as like crimes Wendigoon's friends have done in order to smear Wendigoon do not make them fascists or Nazis. They make them normal people. At the end of the day, this was just a witch hunt against a normal guy. But to these people, that is the enemy. The normal guy. They can dress it up however they want, but at the end of the day, that's what this video was. An attack on normal guys. And it's always been a war on normal guys. But hey, I'm glad you deleted the video. Hopefully you learned from this, but according to your Discord messages, you haven't. Anyway, that was that video. I just really wanted to stick up for someone who absolutely did not deserve all the hate. Thank you again to everyone who donates to me on Patreon. You help so much. And I will see you all real soon with a new video. Bye!
That's definitely not a normal guy. That's a hater. Also, people are, most multifaceted. They have multiple interests, multidimensional, have so much emotion, have so many things, have so many ways of expression that are, everyone's being different. Everyone is different. So it's crazy to have to expect someone to fit into one square, one box, or be two-dimensional in the way they present or behave themselves to be. I love seeing news about Britain and EU and the US. Makes me laugh. I feel like anything is interesting nowadays. Most people I'll watch anything for entertainment because entertainment exists everywhere in every facet. Yeah, but
I still find that statement crazy of you don't agree with me, you shouldn't be outside. That's insane. That's
yeah,
insane.
and it's as if this guy has never even met people. Like literally his problem is you have friends. It's like, huh? You have friends with all these things and interests. It's like, yeah, duh. None of my friends are ever gonna be exactly like me or have the same interests. We're all gonna be so different. That's what makes us so great and, connect as friends because we have our differences, but then we have our things that we like and relate to. He's definitely a Reddit mod. Not just a
Without a
Reddit
doubt.
mod. I think a Discord mod for sure. Be like, hello, kitten kind of thing. It
That's
gives that.
crazy.
But that'll be the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like, comment, subscribe. Bye-bye.